Welcome back to SEC Media Days and Live at 9. And it's not often that I get to interview, sort of, and then talk to David on the side here. David Edelstein, one of our sports reporters at WJTV. You've seen a couple coaches' corners with him. So, David, what do you think of SEC Media Days so far?
Oh, it's great. It's always good to be out in Dallas. You know, we go out to a new place and get to see a lot of people coming together for the same purpose, which is that we all love football, and we're getting ready for a season that starts just next month. And Ole Miss, we've already seen, and Mississippi State's coming up next. So what's not to like?
Yeah, exactly. And let's highlight Ole Miss, because that's what we're here for yesterday, and then obviously today, you know, when it's kind of a rest day in football terms because we have Mississippi State tomorrow. What was the most interesting thing you maybe heard from Lane Kiffin yesterday?
Well, there are no days off. He said that, and we say that. You know, Sports Zone, we'll take days off. So this is our bye day, but we still practice here. But yeah, Lane Kiffin, I think the biggest thing, besides, of course, mentioning his father, Monte Kiffin, who just passed away, and how he wanted to acknowledge him and honor him as his son and a really co-worker in a lot of ways. After that, when he turned his attention toward the Rebels football season, is that he thinks that this team can still level it up with two parts. One, an added opportunity for the 12-team playoff that's coming up, which means Ole Miss has a legit shot to be one of those top 12 in the country with the transfer portal people. And number two, the fact that they won a lot of games the past 2 years and have had increasing success because of either their offense or defense alone in games. This year, he says, with those new transfer portal people and with returning steadfast starters and the wisdom of especially quarterback Jackson Dart in his third year, he says those guys are going to work together, create this new culture as a new unified team, and then be able to have offense and defense working at the same time. And if that does happen, on paper it looks like it really could. If it happens for real on the field, this could be a pretty darn unstoppable team.
So Nick Saban's not here. He's now in the booth kind of talking about these teams, and it was funny because they said he couldn't get into SEC Media Days originally because he didn't have his credential, like, oh, Nick Saban. But hey, good on security. I feel safe, I guess, here. But how about this? Lane Kiffin, he brought up a Nick Saban phrase. It was rat poison. Take a listen.
You know, ready to keep working, and just excited about our opportunity and our collection of players, and we got a long ways to go. Coach Saban used to say, I mean, that's just truly the rat poison extent, especially in a preseason, you know, for that to seep in. And there's been plenty of teams not ranked high that end up high, and plenty of high-ranked teams that end up low. So that really does nothing to do with the outcome. You know, there's so much process and work to do in between.
A phrase that I think is never going to go away in his vocabulary. But the players, every team gets to bring some players. They brought 3 players, a wide receiver, a defensive end, and then, of course, the quarterback. Talk about what it was like to talk with them.
Well, each of them, first of all, had to comment on their EA Sports, you know, college football game 25 that just came out, and whether it looked like them or not, and how, you know, even their 90 ratings they wanted to improve, because they're just always hungry for more. But talking about that real-life play that they said hopefully the video game makers will find out about and maybe increase from a 90 to 95 or something like that, they said that it just is exciting to see the new guys come in. These are 3 staple players that we're seeing, right? You mentioned Dart, you mentioned Harris, you mentioned Ivy. Those guys have been here. They say they're ready to level it up, but they're also ready to be leaders, which is something that they're talking a lot about. That culture in the locker room, which even head coach Lane Kiffin mentioned even 2 years ago when they didn't have many losses, still is a difference maker in that last play at the end of a game. If they can get the culture right, all of them say that these 3 stepping up as leaders will make a huge difference.
Yeah, and let's talk about Jackson Dart just a little bit more. I mean, he's a Heisman favorite when it comes to Vegas odds. He's up there with all the other quarterbacks. Ultimately, they're going to go as far as he goes. Yes, the defense could play well, the special teams could play well, but if he plays into that level, then we're talking about the playoff.
Right. I mean, you're looking for him to take on a leadership role, but that comes down, in his own words, to not just being a guy who talks with other people, who invites them to hang out off the field, who is kind to everyone and inspiring of them, and gets on people when they need to, you know, have a little pat on the back and say, hey, let's get on it. It comes down to how he performs. And this is someone who says he's been more physically ready, and he's also more ready mentally for this season in his 3rd year.
And we got about 30 seconds left. Mississippi State tomorrow. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing how Coach Leppy reacts to seeing his old team inside here, Oklahoma.
Exactly.
You know, it says right there, now 16 strong.
What about Ole Miss being the offensive coordinator?
Of course, and Zach Arnett coming back with a defensive coordinator, too. So there's a lot of Mississippi State stuff going on. But you know what? I want to see how Coach Leppy sets the tone. This is his first real chance, besides talking with you and me, to set the tone for the SEC about what a Coach Leppy-led Bulldogs team will look like this season. And there's a lot of work to do off of what last year was, but that just means there's a lot of fertile soil for him to turn this into something special.